Whose idea was this podcast originally? Yours. Congratulations.
That was, we're recording.
Oh,
Shall I speak an intro?
if you like, you're kind of like the dad of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
The lame dad.
You're like I can't remember his name, but you're like Michael Jackson's father, and we're like Jackson too.
What was Michael Jackson's son's name?
Jackson.
Jackson.
Bully Jackson.
We'll get loads of people texting us now, emailing into the podcast going, Michael Jackson's dad was called this. I can't believe you don't know.
I think his name was Barry.
I could go on
Barry Jackson.
I could go. That's just because we did Barry last week.
Yeah, that was Barry week. It's not Barry week annure.
It's
Every week
Gland
is Barry
week.
week.
It's Gland
This
week.
is National
Is the next
Gland
week
week.
going to be Barry's Gland week?
But we're not just going to incrementally add them all together to come up with a super.
I think that's what we should do.
Super story.
Maybe we could do that for Christmas special. Every time.
Everything in.
We should actually do a Christmas special bit,
We
or do
should.
Christmas stories.
I was going to do a Christmas story anyway.
Were you?
Because I did that one a couple of years ago.
The one about the priest with testicular cancer for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it was a reason.
What was the reason?
Well, it was fatalistic.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a plot device. It
Oh,
was
okay.
it was
yeah.
it was a character trait, not trait, but yes.
Okay.
Cool. So you're listening to the 1 Hour Stories podcast
Hello,
with
Hello.
me, Paddy Johnston.
Roger.
Rob Gordon.
Hi. So this is our second podcast. How the podcast works is that we pick a theme. We each have an hour to write a short story, and then we read them out. Simple.
And we can't delete anything or change anything
No,
as we go through. It has to be as written. So
there's no editing at all.
yeah. That's
And we're also filming this, so
Oh,
I don't know if we're gonna put the video up online or we'll do something with that. But then that proves that we just wrote these right now and that we're just reading them out.
Except
We haven't had
I
time to
wasn't
edit
in
it.
I wasn't in the shot, so I could have been doing anything.
Yeah, you could have been totally cheating.
But you can tell that we are reading them out right now, as opposed to, given the high quality of these short stories, reading them out of a very good book.
Yeah, or just like that we didn't do them in the same room. Or
Yeah.
just all write them and then splice them together
Mm.
with my fantastic editing. So the theme this week is
My favourite gland.
you chose this theme at the end of the last podcast.
Yeah.
Did you come up with it on the spot then, or had you been thinking about it for a while?
I did. I did come up with it on the spot, but that's probably only because of what I've been doing with my time, which is
Right.
writing something with our bodies.
Yeah.
So
It's the Blackground Project. Blackgroundproject.com, is it?
yeah,
That's what you're doing.
that's what I'm doing. Nearly finished. So I'll stop writing about bodies and diseases and sphincters soon. The word sphincter is in my story.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I thought that would go well.
Cool. Well, so we're going to go left to right, aren't we?
We are.
So
Or
this
right
time-
to left if you're watching this.
I don't know what you want to do. I don't.
No, you.
Go for it.
You sure you want me to go first?
Well, you went last time, and I was in the middle, so
That's true.
we'll do
Okay.
it reverse. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go first. My story is called My Favourite.
Well, it says 1 hour stories number 2 there.
That's a very good enlightening title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kick me next.
Sorry, it's right there.
Okay.
Right.
I think you're going to be surprised and not surprised by this story.
I'm really
Yeah.
surprised by you.
Yeah. Okay. I've been wanting to ask Melinda out for some months, but hadn't found the right way to do it. I had the same conversation over and over with all of my friends. Just, when you're walking out of class, they'd say, just stop her and ask if she wants to go for a drink. That's it. Simple as that. But it wasn't that simple. She could read that any number of ways. That I'm an alcoholic, which I'm not, I barely drink at all. That I enjoy bars and clubs, which I don't. That I want to get her drunk, which I don't. It just seemed wrong. Too cheap, too obvious, and not enough of a way to express what I felt for her. It just seemed inadequate. I'd also not had much luck asking girls out before, though it's difficult to ask them for a drink when you're 17 and all the bars in town have bouncers that stand outside and menace the night travellers like rhinoceri. Even if the girl had been interested in dating a sixth former, still trying desperately to grow stubble that didn't look like he'd drawn it on himself with a Sharpie. I thought I'd been in love before, as teenagers are wont to do under the influence of Morrissey and Flaubert. but I knew I hadn't been once I found Melinda. She sat next to me in our first lecture as medical students, exuding the nervousness of not knowing whether to sit in the seat next to me, as the lecture theatre was likely to be full, or to leave a gap and remain aloof and British about it. In the end, she sat next to me and smiled, and the consistent brush of her hip against mine throughout the lecture proved fatal to my ability to take notes. After that, it seemed to me she was everywhere I went, in all of my classes, in the queue for the campus cafe, in the bookshop in town, under the tree in the fields between the campus and town, just everywhere. I began to wake up every day wondering if I'd see her, and as the term drew closer to Christmas, I knew I had to make a move, as the guys I shared my flat with called it. But I was still unsure as to whether she liked me as more than a friend. All of our course mates, or at least the ones I'd spoken to, thought she did. We laughed together in class at the professor's bad jokes and bizarre illustrations in our textbooks. She was warm, and I felt relaxed in her company. But we'd never been together in a social setting, and I couldn't be sure if she was avoiding me outside of class. So I devised a way to find out, with one simple question. We'd been studying glands that week, and learning all their various locations and functions. We laughed at some of them, and pulled mock sick faces at others, and caused our professor to sigh. The one that had caused us the most laughter, for a reason I can't quite fathom, was the sweat gland. It was most likely the illustration, zooming in on a fat man's armpit, that caused it, and it set her off giggling for some minutes. Remembering this, I decided to ask her one simple question, and that would tell me everything I needed to know. After the next class, I would ask her, "What's your favourite gland?" If she said the sweat gland, I'd know we had a connection. It was a very simple test. When we got to the lecture, we fell in together on the way, and sat together just like on the first date. Her hip rubbed mine again, closer this time, for longer, and once again I couldn't concentrate. I glanced over at her and she caught my eye and smiled. She'd never looked more beautiful. Flushed cheeks beneath defined cheekbones. So I'm turning the page there. Eyes large and chestnut, still wearing her berry from outside, her hair long and tousled from the rain. I couldn't wait until after class. I scribbled a note to her on a page in my notebook and tore it off noisily. I passed it to her whilst pretending to concentrate on the lecture, looking forward. She saw it and snorted with laughter, drawing the eyes of the professor and a few other students. She maintained composure, and also put on a front of concentration, while she began doodling on the page. I glanced over and she hid her working behind her free hand, not wanting me to see. Eventually, she passed the note back. She'd drawn, in a surprisingly lifelike yet pointedly cartoonish style, a shirtless, moustached man with an arrow pointing towards his armpit. I sniggered and wrote hastily on the paper, now sitting between us, "Mine too." And then, pausing only for a second, I wrote underneath it, "Drink after class." She hesitated after reading it, looking at me, still giggling slightly, and simply nodded, before returning to the charade of concentration. As disgusting as it sounds, the sweat gland is now my favourite gland, because it reminds me of the moment I knew she liked me back. And now, whenever I treat a particularly sweaty patient, I think of my wife, and it makes every second of a difficult job totally worth it.